Number one, calculate. So I'm looking at number one. Let me highlight it right here. It says calculate the compound interest on investing $600 for 2 years at 7% per annum. Now, firstly, we want to read and at least have an understanding of what it is that they want from us. They want us to calculate the compound interest. So basically, they want the interest. You understand? That's all. The interest. There are two ways we could go about this. One way is that we could, matter of fact, I'm going to approach number one two ways. Firstly, we know that they want the compound interest, right? So we're going to do year one. So we're going to do year one compound interest. What is the interest earned in year one? So we could write on what we have, right? We have here, this is the principal. We invested $600 and this is the time. And that's the rate, all right? So remember, it's compound interest. So all we're going to do is to find 7% of the $600 because they want to know what the interest is overall, the total. So that's going to give us the compound interest in the first year, just year one. So in year one, this is what we're going to work out, right? So we're talking about 7%, which would have been 7 over 100. And we're multiplying this by the $600, just like that. So the compound interest in year one was just $42. We really want to understand what it is you're finding. So it's just regular 7% off 600. It's the first year. But remember, they said it went for 2 years right there. All right, so in year two, we want to figure out what happened in year two. So we're talking about year two compound. I'm just going to write COMP. And I'm going to write that. So year two compound interest. Now, remember though, that with compound interest, the principal changes. So this 600 that you started out with will not be 600 by the time you reach year two. So in year two, there is what we classify as a new principal, or you could call it a new balance. Any one of them you want to call. So the new balance would have been the old principal plus the interest. So that's it. The old principal plus the interest would have made a new principal of $642. So, and this is the difference with your compounded interest, is that you are not going to be using the same principal year after year. So we're talking about 7% off, not 600 this time, but $642 because the principal had changed. All right. So that is how compound interest is done. Let's go about finding what that is. I'm going to put it to the side for space. We're talking about 7 over 100, and we're multiplying this by 42. Take out our calculators and we'll put it on that. Remember, you use your calculator in the CXC exam to the fullest. So the interest in year two is $44.94. This is year two's interest. Now let us look on what we have. For year one, we have $42 for the interest. For year two, we have $44 for the interest. But what it is that the question had asked for, right here, calculate the compound interest over the 2 years. Then we're going to have to combine that now. So let us combine that. Let me put my video over that side. So let's combine the thing now. Talking about 2 years compound interest. It's going to equal to 42 plus 44.94.
86.94.
Thank you very much. $86.94. And that would have been the compound interest over that 2-year period. So let's go for the second method to calculate this same thing here. Now let's write down what we have. What we have here, we have P, which is equal to our principal, which is the $600. We have T, which is for time, and it's 2 years. We also got R, which is the rate, and we got 7%. Remember, when you're working out these, we did say that there is a formula that could take you to the money at the end. And what do I mean? It's going to take you to the total in your account when everything is added on to it. So it's going to be your money plus the interest that you got. And that is how we're going to split it apart to know what the interest was or is. Now, let us put the formula. The formula says the amount accrued, or you could say amount at the end. Just want to be plain. So the amount at the end is actually equal to your principal, open bracket, 1 plus R over 100, and you raise that to T. T refers to time. $600 right there. Open bracket, there is a 1 plus rate, which is 7 over 100, and you're going to raise that to the time, which was 2 years. Now, let us just take a quick look as I highlight the things that we actually plugged in the formula. We're talking about P, which is the 600, R, which is the 7, and T, which is the 2. Those are what we had here. Those are our information, and that's where you put them. The other things are from the formula itself. Now, let's take our time and work this down some more. We're not rushing anything. The 600 is on the outside. You open your bracket. The 1 is still there. 7 divided by 100. Put it on your calculator, and you're going to get 0.07. So when we divide 7 by 100, we get 0.07. Close your bracket. Still put your number 2 up there. When you put this together, you have 1.07, and this is raised to the second. Now you're going to work out that part that is raised to the 7. So you could put everything on your calculator right now, and you're going to realize that you're going to get $686.94. This is the money at the end. Now, if you want to find the compound interest, then you're going to take what you started the business with what you see at the end. In other words, I started the business with $600, and when interest was added on, the amount total to 686.94. If I am going to find the compound interest or any interest per se, look on the principal. It's going to be the amount that I have at the end minus the 600. And you could see that it is $86.94, exactly like what we had from the previous question.